So today we are going to discuss about an important topic, that is nutrition. Nutrition in pediatrics. This has a very major role in growth and development of the child, because in the initial first 3 years of life is more like where the physical growth and brain growth is the maximum. So adequate nutrients which is rich in balanced like macro and micronutrients at that period is very important to predict the adult stature and also to predict the health outcome of the baby. So what are all the type of nutrients basically present? That is, we can group it into 4 groups like energy yielding foods, body yielding foods, protective foods and regulatory foods. Like in case energy yielding foods is basically come from carbohydrates and fats. Body building foods is proteins, and protective foods basically vitamins and minerals, and regulatory foods is water and dietary fibers. So before moving on into the topic per se, you need to know certain abbreviations which are used frequently in the context of nutrition. That is EAR, that is estimated average requirement, and RDA is recommended dietary allowance, UL is upper tolerable limit, AMDR is acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges, and EER is estimated energy requirement. In the coming slides, we will be discussing in detail about each and every one. So just to show you about, these are all certain common abbreviations being used in the context of nutrition. This you may get in entrance or OSCEs also. So coming to the relationship between this EAR, RDA, upper limit, upper tolerable limit. This EAR is this estimated average requirement. It is basically, it is an average level of daily nutrient intake. It is estimated to meet the requirements for 50% of the population, provided it is the normal distribution. And RDA means it is an estimate of daily average nutrient intake that meets the nutritional needs of more than 97% of the individuals in the population. And usually this RDA is taken as a guideline for individuals to avoid the deficiency. And UL, that is the tolerable upper limit. It denotes the highest average daily intake with no associated adverse health effect for almost all the individuals in the particular group. So what is the relationship between these three parameters? If you see this estimated average requirement, if we have this as a criteria to assess the nutritional adequacy for the child, then the inadequacy is estimated around 0.5, that is almost 50% inadequacy. It shows 50% of the population are taking inadequate nutrients. So this is almost in the higher range. But when you take this recommended dietary allowance as a criteria to assess the nutritional adequacy for the child, here see the risk of inadequacy is almost minimal, that is 0.02 to 0.03, that is only 2 to 3% of the population are not taking sufficient nutrients. So this implicates in that way. So at the intake between recommended dietary allowance and the upper limit, if you see, almost the risk of inadequacy is nil. It is close to 0.0. And if the intake is above the upper tolerable limit, more like the risk of adverse effects, potential adverse effects are increased. So this is the relation between these 3 parameters. So that's why we are taking this recommended dietary allowance as a guideline for measuring the nutritional adequacy of the child. So next parameter what we see in the previous slide is estimated energy requirement, that is EER. This is average dietary energy intake. It is predicted to maintain the energy balance in the healthy individual. It also taken into account the age, gender, weight, height and the level of physical activity. So EER is calculated by the formula the total energy expenditure plus the energy deposition. So basically if you see, this EER was determined based upon the research in healthy persons at different levels of activity. So they do not necessarily apply to the children with acute and chronic diseases. So in case of all the children, like whether diseased or unddiseased children, you can't take this estimated energy requirement as a criteria, because it involves only the normal children. They are not applying for the chronic or acute diseases. So next, another parameter is acceptable macronutrient distribution range. So this is basically the range of intake for a particular energy source that is associated with reduced risk of chronic disease while providing the intake of essential nutrients. So if you see, This acceptable macronutrient range means in a diet, the fat should definitely contribute 30 to 40% in children between 1 to 3 years and 25 to 35% in children above 3 years. And that too, this omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids should be more. And carbohydrate, if you see, it almost 45 to 60% of our predominant Indian diet should contain carbohydrates. And proteins, if you see, in less than 3 years, the protein is 5 to 20, and more than 4 years, it is around 10 to 30%. So this is the percentage of macronutrient distribution in an average Indian diet. So this is the average Indian diet percentages. So how will you calculate based upon this? Like, how will you calculate the daily energy requirement for the children? So if you see, for energy requirement, up to 10 kg, it is roughly 1000 kilocalories. The child should need 1000 kilocalories of energy for a 10 kg body weight. If the child is above 10 kg and up to 20 kg, along with the 1000 kilocalories, for each and every increase in kg, you have to add upon 50 kilocalories for each kg. So for example, if you see a 15 kg child, so for 10 kg, it is 1000 kilocalories. So rest extra 5 kg, you have to add 50 per kg, so 250. So in total, if you see, the requirement is 1250 kilocalories for a 15 kilogram child. You have to calculate. If you are dealing a child with a malnutrition, undernutrition, you have to put a proper diet chart for the baby. Then you should know this formula to calculate the average energy requirement and protein requirement for that particular child. So if weight is above 20 kg, 1500 kilocalories is base along with 20 kilocalories per kg. So for a 30 kg, the requirement will be 1700 kilocalories. And coming to the protein requirement, again, see the daily energy and protein requirement, there is a flow chart. If you see, in infants up to 6 months and up to 12 months, the energy requirement is 90 and 80 kilocalories per kg per day. And roughly, if you see the protein, it is 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kg per day. And after that, in children like from 1 year to 9 years, it is roughly around 1000 to 1500 kilocalories per day. And protein requirement, if you see, almost 20 to 30 grams per day. And after that, if you see, there is a difference between like the physical activity, estimated physical activity, and certain other parameters. The kilocalories, the energy and protein requirement differs for boys and girls. So there is a separate chart for boys and girls, their energy intake and protein calculation. So this is a chart.